Carpenter in the C46. Greg Carpenter out of Musselman, Tennessee in car number C46. Greg was from the central West Virginia area, down around the Parkersburg area, moving into Tennessee. Glad to have him back, a hometown boy in the C46, Greg Carpenter. And the 07 is Brent Raybergen from Clymer, New York. As they roll down the front straightaway, the 131. First time here for Curtis Gaddis out of Little Rock, Arkansas. And that GRT Curtis Gaddis excavating automobile, one of those Arkansas drivers that we talked, 6 or 7 of them here this afternoon. Yeah, Billy Winter brought his contingent of locals from the Batesville, Arkansas and surrounding area up with him. Well, you know, these guys from Arkansas, they have got bad fast over the last 3 or 4 years. You know, after chasing Moyer out there all those years, they have got real quick. I think you'll see 6 or 7 of these Arkansas guys be real contenders here this afternoon in the qualifying heat races in the feature. Win. That hard to get number 1 win here at Finsboro. Has made the dirt track championship a number of times, but best finish, I think had a top 5 finish one year in this event. Another guy who's run quite well here at Pennsboro is Dick Barton as he rolls back into the pits. Barton was out on the last session, just not getting on the racetrack, but Barton always runs quite well here. That Ford-powered automobile makes the trip down from New York, and he's had quite a number of good runs here at the Speedway.
A lot of cars from up the upstate Pennsylvania, New York area have made the trip down this year. Mickey Wright being one of them there in the M1. Timmy hit us a new car, I understand, right, Pete? Just out last weekend, I believe.
Brand new car, and Steve Baker will be driving the other one. So a brand new maiden voyage on this car. Tim hit just about a week old. Ron O'Neill picking up, making his first track championship just a couple of years ago. O'Neill, a tough runner from out in the Brownstown, Indiana area in the 71 automobile. Real strong running car from the Midwest. Number 100 from down in Virginia, Lexington, Virginia, C.S. Fitzgerald in car number 100, and also Aaron Scott in the car number 33. Aaron, he is out of Newark, Ohio, in the Subway sponsored. Aaron making this race for the first time in 1993.
That fluorescent painted number 21 is Gibby Steinhaus out of the Chicago, Illinois area. Gibby Steinhaus in car 21. Also, Brian Huffman out on the track in the 07X. He is from Jefferson, Ohio. Brian Huffman in car 07X. The 49 is Brian Ruhlman out of Russell, Pennsylvania. He was last year's Stars Rookie of the Year. Brian Ruhlman in the 49.
Ready for number 6 practice session rolling out on the Speedway now.
Right in front of him, the 87 car, a first McGill out of West Union, the 1995 track champion in Tyler County Speedway, in car number 87. McGill has been running this racetrack for well over about 25 years.
Speedway for the 15th annual running of the Dirt Track World Championship. Everything is being run in one day here due to persistent rains on Friday, which set in here about 3:30 in the afternoon when practice was underway, and all day Saturday off and on. Every time they prepared the track, they just about ready to get hot laps started. They did get one session hot, and the rains came back and just scrubbed everything out. With the cooperation of all the drivers and everybody, they had opened the gates early, and they started hot lap sessions a little after 9 o'clock. With 9 hot lap sessions to be on the track before qualifying began, it will be a real task to get all this in one day with 107 cars in the pits to qualify, to begin the challenge to get to the top and be the winner of the $50,000 to win for the 15th annual running of this Dirt Track World Championship. Now, this track is very, very heavy with all the rain. They started early this morning running it in and getting it ready for this hot lap sessions. And it looks like it's coming around, and it will be there whenever the time trials start. When time trials are completed, then they will run 6 15-lap qualifying heats, starting 20 cars in each heat. Larry Moore out there in the number 79, the B.A. Malkiewicz Special. Caution's on us. We have a couple cars going the wrong direction in turn 4.
In the 00, and Chris Patterson out of St. John, Michigan, picking up the ride for the weekend in car 67.
Well, Chris Patterson, the Michigander they call him. Well, as a matter of fact, about 7 or 8 years since Chris Patterson, back in the late 80s, since the last time Patterson driving the McCullough Motorsports car out of Kenton, Ohio, the number 67 car. Good ride that Patterson picking up for this weekend.
Some of the others, Rick Eckert in the Ray Vest Excavating number 24, Steve
Sports Racing Chassis. He is out of Martin, Kentucky. This is Paul Harris. Paul Harris getting ready to take the green this time around. Harris taking the green flag, heads down that long back straightaway. Sets the car now into turns 3, backs off the throttle, goes up a little bit high. Here he comes, pushes the button, he's heading down. Harris on your second lap. First lap, second lap, 21.102. 21.102 for Paul Harris. 21.180. 21.180. Second lap, first lap time for Paul Harris. So Harris, first car out on the speedway. The 99 car now of Johnny Johnson out of West Burlington, Iowa now in the J&J Steel. Paul Harris's best time, 21.102. 21.102 for Paul Harris. Johnny Johnson's time, 21.887. 21.887. First lap time for the Iowan, Johnny Johnson. Johnny Johnson, Borderberry Wright chassis. Johnson hauling the car out of turn 2. Second lap time, 21.566. 21.566. Second lap time. Running on a limited racing schedule in 1995. Promoter at Tyler County Speedway, driving car number 2, Frank Wilson Jr. from right here in Pennsboro, in the 2 car out on the track. Wilson just running this car about 4 or 5 times this season. He'll clock the timer 22.081. 22.081 for Frank Wilson. Wilson, second lap time, 21.619. 21.619, the second one for Frank Wilson. Mitchell, Indiana is the 75 car of John Gill. John Gill out of Mitchell, Indiana, in car number 75. Gill in a Masterbuilt car. Out of the Hoosier state of Indiana. First lap time for John Gill, 21.230. 21.230. Second time, a little bit quicker, 20.917. 20.917. Gill, first car out here early in the 20s. Newcastle, Pennsylvania. This is the 44 of Gary Stoller. Stoller, a 2-time winner on the Stars Tour for 1995. Driving the Speedy Hayes owned Bullet chassis out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania. First lap for Gary, 21.970. 21.970. Stoller backs the car in very slowly into turns 3. Now accelerates out of turn 4. Stoller have to pick it up this time. 21.622. 21.622. The black number 92 taking the green flag now. They call this guy the Hurrying Hoosier. Out of Morocco, Indiana, the veteran Dick Potts. Dick Potts, the 30-year veteran, Morocco, Indiana. Potts' best finish in a dirt track world championship, I do believe, was second for Dick Potts. That was way back. First time for Potts, 23.686, 2.3.686. Potts finishing up second in 1985. Second lap time for Dick Potts, 23.901, 23.901. Elmhurst, Illinois, Jim Partapillo on the speedway now. Jim Partapillo out of Elmhurst, Illinois. Partapillo on his third time here. Partapillo for his third attempt to make this race. First lap time, 22.771, 22.771. Second time for Partapillo, 22.048, 22.048. Ravenswood, West Virginia, Scott Hartley now in the Hartley Trucking Rocket Chassis in car number 32, Scott Hartley on the speedway. Hartley looking to make his first dirt track world championship here this afternoon. First time, 21.789, 21.789 for Scott Hartley. Hartley clicks the timer this time, 21.890, 21.890. 75 car, currently second in Stars points. Out of South Zanesville, Ohio, this is Bart Hartman. Bart Hartman in the 75 car, the Hartman Truck Center sponsored Masterbuilt car. Hartman making this race in 1994, his first time last year, finishing up 19th on the grid in 94. Pretty good time, 20.363, 20.363. With that time, Hartman will move into the number one spot. Hartman on his second time. This one will clock in 20.374, 20.374. The J&J Steel Barry Wright chassis automobile, Mooresburg, Tennessee. This is Scott Bloomquist. Scott Bloomquist out of Mooresburg, Tennessee. Bloomquist, best finish in this race would be an 18th, and that was last year. First lap time, 19.703. 19.703. Bloomquist really putting it down in the 19s. 19.702. 19.702 will be the mark now that everyone's shooting for. 19.702. A high target. Well, on the speedway now, Mike Johnson out of Imperial, Pennsylvania on the speedway. Mike Johnson in car number 2. Johnson's best finish was 15th. Matter of fact, in 1992, the only year that he's made this run, 24th. First lap time, 20.592, 2:05.92 for Mikey Johnson, who the youngest driver to ever make a dirt track championship in 1992. Second time, 20.490, 20.490. Boy, I tell you, some heavy hitters here early in the event as car number 99, Dresden, Ohio's, in the Hooters-sponsored automobile, Donnie Moran. Donnie Moran in car number 99, and Moran knows the job that he's got to do here right now. He knows that time of Bloomquist, 19.702. He's got to be even faster or close. Here comes Moran. 20.522, 2:05.22. Donnie Moran, the winner of this event back in 1988. Moran gets it in the 19s, 19.945, 19.945. Out in car number 42 now. He is out of Duke Center, Pennsylvania. Car number 42, Todd Andrews. Andrews currently in Stars points, sitting in that 7th in Stars points going into today's event. Todd Andrews. First lap time will be 20.947, 20.947. Andrews making this race only on one occasion. That was back in 1989 where he finished up 12th. Would like to make the second one here this afternoon. Second time, 20.784, 2:07.84. Sugar Grove, Pennsylvania's car number star 1, the shoestring traveler, ladies and gentlemen, Chub Frank. Chub Frank out of Sugar Grove, Pennsylvania. Frank making this race in 1992, 93, and 94, finishing up second in 93. First lap time, 21.364, 21.364. Chub Frank picking up the win last weekend down at Raceway Park, just south of Wheelersburg, Ohio, in his second Stars win of the year. Second time, 21.163, 21.163. Boy, a guy's been coming to Pennsboro for quite a long time. They call him the Caveman, Gaffney, South Carolina's Mike Duvall. Duvall made this first one back in 1981, has made this race on six occasions. His best finish was 5th in 1982. First time, 21.158, 21.158 for Duvall. Duvall won I do believe, a 4th of July event back here in 1980 or 81. He's been shut out of Victory Circle for a good while here. Second time, 21.126, 21.126. The Universal Auto Sales in service. This is Dan Pikel. Dan Pikel out of Home, Pennsylvania. Dan, he's a regular at the, I do believe, up around the Challenger Speedway in the car number X. Dan's First time, 24.358. 24.358. Right now, fast time, Scott Bloomquist, 19.702. 19.702 the time. Donnie Moran sitting second, 19.945. Bloomquist and Moran up in front of the bus here early in the morning. Dan Peichel, 24.491. 24.491. Nebraska driver. Guy drives 26 hours to get here. We butcher him up. 23.173. Liebentritt, yes. Terry Liebentritt. We finally got a correction on the name. Yeah, thank you, Terry. Omaha, Nebraska. Second lap time, 23.811. First time ever for Terry Liebentritt out of the 85 car. 77. This is Wheelersburg, Ohio's Barry Bragdon in car number 77. Barry has been here before, has never made a race, a dirt track race here. Trying to do it this afternoon, a regular from down on the southern part of Ohio. In car number 77. 22.295. 22.295. As Barry Bragdon. Second lap time, 21.443. 21.443. The 1X1 out of Porter Falls, West Virginia. Sonny Conley on the green flag now in the Tire America sponsored automobile. Sonny runs in the Tri-State area around the Tyler County Speedway. Runs in the semi-late class, but had well over 15 feature wins this season. Had a great year and decided maybe to try it here at Pennsboro. 22.061. 22.061. Not bad for a young second-year driver, Sonny Conley. Conley, second time, 21.928. 21.928. Coming up on the speedway now, this is Beaver, Pennsylvania's car 14, Ed Dunn. Ed Dunn now in car number 14. Dunn a regular up at Pennsylvania Motor Speedway on Saturday night in car number 14. First year late model driver Ed Dunn on his first attempt to qualify here. 22.713. 22.713 for Eddie. Some of these drivers right here, the first time that Ed's been here, and going up a little bit high, but gathering the car back in and trying to find his fastest way around the speedway. Comes a little bit faster that time. 22.088. 22.088. Hey, this is a guy that can gather time in real quick here at Pennsboro. Car number 72, Millersburg, Ohio. This is John Racing Mason. Mason aboard the GRT Malkut-powered automobile out of Millersburg, Ohio. Mason, the 1990 or 89 winner of this event in 1989. First lap time for Mason, 21.403. 21.403. Mason has made this race on 11 different occasions. 21.022. 21.022. George Lindsay rolling out now. Lindsay from way up in Michigan in car number 49L. Adrian, Michigan for George Lindsay. Lindsay's first time, 23.834. 23.834 for George Lindsay. Lindsay's time, 23.520. 23.520 for the Michigan driver, George Lindsay. Skip Arp now on the speedway now, and Arp trying to make his first dirt track championship here in the Curtis Equipment Company 31 automobile. Skip Arp. Arp, a veteran of about 20 or 25 years of racing down in that volunteer state right around the Knoxville area. Runs around the Bulls Gap, Atomic, Cleveland area. Skip Arp, track champion over at Knoxville. Arp's first time, 21.679. 21.679. Second time, 21.683. 21.683. Jeff Smith now in car number 70, getting ready to take the green flag. Jeff Smith, Kings Mountain, North Carolina, in the CNC Lumber Carnes Trucking, sponsored number 70. Jeff going up a little bit high, almost gets in the outside guardrail, gets it back down, comes downstairs with it. Jeff having a little trouble on his opening lap. That will hurt him on the Klondike timer here. Jeff's first lap time will not be the one he's looking for. 24.324, trying to make his first dirt track. 24.324. He brings it downstairs this time, keeps it in the living room, and heads down the back chute. Sets the car, saws on the wheel. This time goes up a little bit high in 3 and 4. Second lap time will be 21.700. 21.700 for Jeff Smith. A couple years ago, and glad to have him back in the C46, a regular here in Central West Virginia. Greg Carpenter. $23,876. $23,876. First time for Greg. Greg takes it down into 3, his final lap. Second time will be 23,275, 22,375. Now, we talked about Arkansas drivers right now. This is a good one coming out.
On the clock in car 131, this is Curtis Gaddis out of Little Rock. Curtis Gaddis out of Little Rock in car 131. Tried to make the Dirt Track World Championship for the first time. Everyone trying to catch Scott Bloomquist. He has the quick lap thus far, 19.702. Donnie Moran is second at 19.945. First lap for Curtis Gaddis, 22.092. 22.092, the first lap. Second lap, a lot better, 21.468. 21.468 for Curtis Gaddis. Taking the green flag in the Valentine Concrete Contractors 24 from Hagerstown, Maryland, Nathan Durborough, track champion at the Hagerstown Speedway in 1995. It's a rocket chassis. 20.974 the first lap for Nathan, 20.974. He's made 5 previous Dirt Track World Championships. His best finish was 5th last year. .679 the second lap, 20.679 for Nathan Durborough. That puts him into the top 5. Your defending champion from Chattanooga, Tennessee, in car 5, Ronnie Johnson. Ronnie was the fast timer last year. He holds the track record at 19.110. Miller Brothers Construction, Hawkeye Trucking, number 5. 21.204 the first lap, 21.204 for Ronnie Johnson. Winner of last year and in 1992. Second lap, 21.012, 21.012, lap 2 for Ronnie Johnson. In the bolt place, Coors Light 28B from Asheville, New York, Dick Barton. Dick Barton in car 28B, champion on the Erie State Line circuit again this season. It's a bullet chassis for Dick, powered by a Ford. His best finish was 6th in 1988, and his first lap time was 21.271. 21.271. .835. 20.835. Lap 2, the better of the two for Dick Barton. In the Medical Center, brace number 5 from Chester, West Virginia. This is Lou Bradish. Lou Bradish out of Chester, West Virginia. Rocket chassis car. Lou tried to make his first Dirt Track World Championship. Regular competitor Saturday night at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. .22.148 was the first lap. 22.148 the first lap for Lou Bradish. Jules Ford in Parkersburg presenting $1,000 to today's fast qualifier. $500 from Dick's Automotive to our second fast time. .22.226, 22.226 lap 2 for Lou Bradish. The Ripley Machine Tool 07 from Clymer, New York, Brent Raybergen. Brent Raybergen in car 07, trying to make the Dirt Track World Championship for the first time. .22.293 is the first lap for Brent. 22.293. .22.207, lap 2 for Brent Raybergen. Out of McKeesport, coming on to take the green flag in car 1K, McKeesport, Pennsylvania's Jim Kudus. Jim Kudus. It's an American-made chassis. Top 5 right now: Scott Blomqvist, Donnie Moran, Bart Hartman, Mike Johnson, and Nathan Durborough. .22.673 is the first lap. 22.673 for Jim Kudus. Second lap, 22.627, 22.627. In the Cochran Automotive 1C from Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania, Lynn Geisler. It's a Masters built chassis for Lynn. Best finish in the Dirt Track World Championship was 4th in 1985. He has made this race 9 previous times. First lap, 21.440, 21.440. We've got a Honda Accord, Maryland license, NLC 811, needs to be moved or will be towed. Second lap for Lynn Geisler, 21.046, 21.046. On the clock now in car number 30 out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, Steve Shaver. Steve currently 8th in the Stars by Arizona point standings. Steve Shaver in car 30. 20.358 for Steve Shaver. 20.358. That puts him number 3 behind Scott Bloomquist and Donnie Moran. Again, Maryland license, NLC 811, Honda Accord needs moved. 20.218 for Steve Shaver. 20.218. He'll stay in the 3rd slot right now. In car number 33, car 38 from Georgetown, Delaware, Kenny Pettyjohn. Kenny Pettyjohn in car 38. $21.094 for Pettyjohn, trying to make the Dirt Track World Championship for the first time. Top 5 right now, Bloomquist, Moran, Shaver, Hartman, and Mike Johnson. $21.221. It's the second lap for Kenny Pettyjohn. Now on the clock in car 10H is Tim Harsh. Tim Harsh in car 10H. Again, we have a Honda Accord, Maryland license, NLC 811. It's blocking a business and will be towed if not moved immediately. First lap, 23.135, 23.135 for Tim Harsh. Tim Harsh from Philippi, Ohio. His second lap, 23.524, 23.524. First lap time, 21.550, 21.550 for David Powers. $21.587, lap 2, 21.587. Next to take the green flag is Randy Boggs in car 17B out of Grayson, Kentucky. And we've got 11 cars in the IGA parking lot, blocking customer parking. 11 cars in the IGA parking lot, and if you're one of them that is blocking customers in, they will be towed. (21.811), the first lap for Randy Boggs. Randy has made this race 3 prior times. Best finish 8th in 1987. 23.025. 23.025. Lap 2 for Randy Boggs. From Cadiz, Ohio in car 15, this is Scott Peltz. Scott Peltz in car number 15. Cadiz, Ohio. First lap, 21.146, 21.146 for Scott Peltz. Cadiz, Ohio. .822. Good lap for Scott Peltz. That'll put him in the top 10. In the M1, this is Mickey Wright from Albion, Pennsylvania. Mickey Wright in car M1. A regular competitor up at the Ace High Speedway in the northwestern part of Pennsylvania and Ohio, northeastern part of Ohio. 24.540, 24.540 for Mickey Wright. Billy Moyer on deck. .24.440, the second lap for Mickey Wright. In car 21 from Batesville, Arkansas, Billy Moyer Jr. 1986 Dirt Track World Champion. Billy Moyer Jr. and that's C.J. Rayburn. Shaver Motors. 21.325 the first lap. 21.325 the first lap for Billy Moyer Jr. Told you he won in 86. He was second in 91. 21.081 the lap time the second time around for Billy Moyer. In the Tucker County Trucking 31 from Lost Creek, West Virginia, Denny Chamberlain. Denny Chamberlain driving car 31. He was 6th place here in 1986, or 1985, excuse me. He's made the race 5 times. And he's got a great lap, 20.408. 20.408. That'll put him 5th right now. Denny Chamberlain. Pouring it on here, lap number 2. Not as good, 21.381. 21.381 the second lap for Denny, but that first one will put him number 5 behind Bart Hartman, moving Mike Johnson down to 6th. This is Wheel Rao in car 98. Wheel Rao. Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, Will Rao driving the blue number 98. Looking to make his first dirt track world championship. $22,362 the first lap. Deals Ford in Parkersburg giving $1,000 to our fast timer today. And right now that is Scott Bloomquist. Still a lot of cars to go. $22,413 is the second lap time for Will Rao. This is Weston, West Virginia's Tim Hitt. Tim Hitt in car 68 jumps the cushion over in turn 2, lost part of the rear spoiler as he brushed the wall. It appeared Timmy Hitt in car 68. Rocket chassis. He's missing the right rear half of the spoiler. 22,159 the first lap. 22,159 the first lap for Tim Hitt. It's definitely got to affect the handle of that race car. But it's still a good lap, 20.453. 20.453 for Tim Hitt. That puts him 6th, right behind Denny Chamberlain. From Martinsville, Indiana, this is Don O'Neill in car 71. Don O'Neill. He was 8th last year, his best finish in his 2 prior runs in the Dirt Track World Championship. Well, he's really got her crossed up in turn 4. 21.714 is the first lap. 21.714. $21.222, the second lap for Don O'Neill. And the Dan's Concrete 21 from Chicago, Illinois, Gibby Steinhaus. Gibby Steinhaus in car number 21. $21.699 for Gibby Steinhaus. $22.072 the second lap for Gibby Steinhaus. In the Subway 33, this is Aaron Scott from Newark, Ohio. Aaron Scott. Aaron finished 23rd in 1993 in this race. 21.196. 21.196 the first lap for Aaron Scott. Close brush with the wall, 22.777, 22.777, lap 2 for Aaron Scott. Next up comes Steve Burnside from Mineral Wells, West Virginia. Steve Burnside from Mineral Wells, West Virginia in car 31M. 22.951. 22.951 the first lap for Steve Burnside. .854, 22.854. Second lap for Steve Burnside. And the green flag out for car number 8. This is Wayne Brooks from Batesville, Arkansas, driving the Larry Shaw number 8, Wayne Brooks. .22029, the first lap for Wayne Brooks. .21440, lap 2. The Candyman Special, the number 95 from Hagerstown, Maryland, Denny Bonebrake. Denny trying to make the Dirt Track World Championship for the first time, the all-time leading winner in the late models at Hagerstown Speedway. It's a Masters-built chassis. 21.767, 21.767. First lap for Denny. .21.566, 21.566 the second lap. This is Rod Evans from St. Albans, West Virginia. Rod Evans in the R1 from St. Albans, West Virginia. .21.905 the first lap, 21.905, lap number 1 for Rod Evans. .21.876 the second lap. Here comes Jack Boggs from Grayson, Kentucky in the Chubby Bear Gate Company, Miller Brothers Construction B4. Jack Boggs, two-time winner of the Dirt Track World Championship, 1984 and 1990. Masters-built chassis with a Cornet racing engine. We'll find out what the track has got. 20.255 for Jack Boggs. 20.255. That puts him fourth right now behind Steve Shaver. .226. 20.226. That's fourth best. Jack Boggs in the B4. In the 07X from Jefferson, Ohio, Brian Huffman. Brian Huffman in car 07X. Another driver trying to make this race for the first time. Your top 5 right now: Scott Bloomquist, Donnie Moran, Steve Shaver, Jack Boggs, and Bart Hartman. 6 through 10, Denny Chamberlain, Tim Hitt, Mike Johnson, Nathan Durborough, and Todd Andrews. First lap is 22.349. 22.349 for Brian Huffman. 22.381 the second lap. 22.381. Shutting off here, Bob Pierce now back on the gas. Bob Pierce from Danville, Illinois in car 32. For a moment there, sounded like there was a problem, but he's back in the gas. Long, tall, cooling. Bobby Pierce. His best finish here was 15th in 84. 21.974 the first lap. 21.974 the first lap for Bob Pierce, but he slowed down, of course, right before taking the green, so this may be better. He jumps the cushion off the fourth turn. Let's see what the time is. 21.512. 21.512 for Bob Pierce. In car number 5 from Sissonville, West Virginia, Gene Farrell. Gene Farrell in car number 5, making a return to racing this year after a few years away. .22.706. 22.706. First lap. .21.976 for Gene Farrell. 21.976. That was lap number 2. Into Fitzgerald Lumber 100 from Lexington, Virginia, C.S. Fitzgerald. It's a rocket chassis for C.S. He's the wild child. .21.260, 21.260 the first lap. 21.260 for C.S. Fitzgerald. .20.949 the second lap for C.S. Fitzgerald. Good lap. That puts him up in there, probably the top 13, 14 cars. From Russell, PA in the 49, this is Brian Ruhlman, last year's Stars Rookie of the Year. Again, 11 cars in the IGA parking lot that are blocking customers. 10 minutes to be moved or they will be towed. .21.108. 21.108 was the first lap for Brian Ruhlman. 21.108. .21.159. 21.159. Lap 2. West Virginia in car number 11. This is Charlie Schwartz. Back now in Ashland, Kentucky. Charlie's back in Ashland, Kentucky. That's his home base again. Charlie Schwartz in car 11. .20.724 the first lap for Charlie. 20.724. He won the race in 1982. First lap will put him in the top 10. Look out. Ooh, into the wall here on the front straightaway. And he still got his hand out the window. Get the lap done. Look out. Now the car won't turn left. He's definitely twisted her up a bit. Dick's Automotive in Parkersburg will be presenting $500 to our second fast qualifier. 21.771, 21.771, first lap for Butch McGill. .736 the second lap. 21.736 the second lap for Butch McGill. Another Arkansas driver, Wendell Wallace. Wendell Wallace into 6th out of Batesville, Arkansas. Having a strong year down south, Wendell Wallace in car 6. It's a GRT chassis. 21.283 the first lap. 21.283 the first lap for Wendell Wallace. .265 the second lap. 21.265 the second lap for Wendell Wallace. In the Curtis Equipment Service, number 12 from Fargo, North Dakota, this is Rick Auckland. Now making his home in Loudon, Tennessee. 20.501 the first lap for Rick Auckland. 20.501 will put him in the top 10. .421 for Rick Auckland. That puts him 6th behind the 31 of Denny Chamberlain. In car number 7, this is Mark Miner out of Stockbridge, Georgia. Mark Miner from Stockbridge, Georgia. Trying to qualify for the first time for the Dirt Track World Championship. 21.635 the first lap. 21.635. .621 the second lap. 21.621 for Mark Miner. Now on the clock, Mike Benedum in car 25 from Bristol, West Virginia. And he glances off the wall over there between 1 and 2. Mike Benedum from Bristol, West Virginia in car 25. Slowing down, maybe headed back into the pit area. .940 the first lap. 20.940 the first lap for Larry Moore. .696 the second lap. 20.696 the second lap for Larry Moore. A junior behind the wheel, Bobby Lake-owned car out of Smithfield, Pennsylvania, the Corley Ford sponsored automobile. And Mel trying to hit that cushion just right. He does. This car ran basically in the tri-state area in the semi-late division. These guys putting Mel Minnick Jr. behind the wheel, giving him a little bit of Pennsboro experience here this afternoon. Mel Minnick's time
time, 23.891. 23.891. And he's in trouble too. Down over and turns, jump the cushion, and into the outside guardrail. Wrecker, we need a wrecker. First lap time for the L.C. Smith sponsored time car, 21.932. 21.932, Stan Massey. Massey runs real strong. He is Make Homestead over Dixie Speedway. The RDS Enterprise car, second time, 21.548. 21.548. Frank McMillan in car number 98 out of Beckley, West Virginia. The Patriot Ford sponsored number 98. Frank had some problems in our first practice session of the afternoon. Got up on the outer embankment coming out of turn number 2. Let's see if Frank can herd it through this time. Frank gets around out of turn 4. First time, 21.762. 21.762. Second time, 21.315. 21.315 for the Patriot Ford of Frank McMillan. Car number 3 now, Erie, Pennsylvania, Bruce Hordusky. Bruce Hordusky out of Erie, Pennsylvania now. And Hordusky having problems out of turn 2. Looks like car breaking loose in the at 45.848. 45.848. Hordusky, second lap time for the Erie Vending sponsored car, 22.570. 22.570. Joplin, Missouri's Denny Feltner on the speedway now in car number 16. Felker in the 16 American-made car, Joplin, Missouri. First time here, 21.793. 21.793 first lap time for Feltner out of Joplin, Missouri. Over 900 miles to be here this afternoon for this team. Second time, 21.450. 21.450. In the 68 now, out of Fairmont, West Virginia. This is the 68B of Steve Baker. Steve Baker in the 68B rocket drain-powered automobile out of Fairmont. Baker, promoter and owner of Interstate 79 Speedway. Good time, 20.915. 20.915, not bad for Steve Baker, a regular up at Pennsylvania Motor Speedway on Saturday night. Baker getting a pretty good run off of turn 4 this time. 2:06:39, 20.639. So his first lap will be the quick one of the two for Steve Baker. Shannon Thornsberry out of Martin, Kentucky now in car number 17. Baker, that time, put him 10th 10th fastest time. Thornsberry 22.772. 22.772. And Shannon will go through this time 23.754, 23.754. On the speedway now, car number 75 now. Out of Apple Creek, Ohio, this is Dawn Gross. Dawn Gross in car number 75. Dawn Gross making this race on one occasion back in 1989, finishing up 11th. First time 22.689, 22.689. Second time, 22.178, 22.178. The A55, the Bandit out of Racing, Ohio. This is Bob Adams Jr. Bob Adams Jr. out of Racing, Ohio. Adam picking up wins over at Skyline Speedway, also at Raceway Park this season. 21.770, 21.770 for the gentleman who has made just one dirt track championship. That was back in 1986, and his best finish was 20th on the grid that afternoon. Second time, 21.335, 21.335. Young Shane Hitt out of the Buck Cannon, the 28H on the speedway now. A former AMA four-wheel champion, national champion. First year behind the wheel of the late model automobile here in the tri-state area. Shane Hitt out of Buck Cannon, West Virginia. 22.229, 22.228, 22.228. Hit second time, 21.582, 21.582. The McDonald's-sponsored black number 4. This is Jackie Boggs. Jackie Boggs out of Gratian, Kentucky. The younger statesman of the Boggs group out of Gratian, Kentucky. 21.387, 21.387. Jackie Boggs looking to make his first race here this afternoon. I do believe only his second attempt to make a dirt track. 21.068, 21.068. Randy Kimball now in the black number 7X out of South Connellsville, Pennsylvania. Randy Kimball in the black number 7X. First lap time for the Bob Kimball used cars, 21.844, 21.844. Second time, 21.772. 21772. In the orange and yellow, number 66, out of Greenbrier, Arkansas. Former Hillbilly 100 winner. He won the Tampa Nationals down at Dixie Speedway a couple of weeks ago. Ladies and gentlemen, in the 66 car, this is Bill Fry. 21.542, 21542 for Fry. Second lap, 21.392, 21.392 for Bill Fry. In the 1J automobile out of New Alexandria, Pennsylvania. In the top 5 in points this season on the Star Circuit. The 1J, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dave Johnson. Dave Johnson in the 1J automobile. Johnson, broken foot and all, 20.693. Good time, 20.693 with a broken foot. Dave Johnson not dragging any time at all here. Comes out of turn 4. 20.881, 20881. Dave Johnson, pretty good time for him. The 57J automobile. This is Vicksburg, Mississippi's Bob McCool. Bob McCool out of Vicksburg, Mississippi. His first time here at the Speedway. First time, 22.920. 22.920. Second time, 22.206, 22.206. Bluegrass, Iowa's Gary Webb now on the Speedway in car number 56, Gary Webb. Also on his first occasion here at the Speedway, Gary Webb in car 56. Webb's aboard the Mills Chevrolet, clocks the timer 21.995, 21.995. Webb, a strong runner up and down the Mississippi, out in the Illinois, Iowa area, the Quad Valley. $21,466, 21.466 for Webb. White 33, Beckley, West Virginia's Joe Meadows on the Speedway. Joe Meadows out of Beckley. Meadows making this race just one occasion back in 1989, finishing up 15th. First time, 21.438. 21.438. Second time, 21.237. 21.237 for Joe Meadows. 1995 track champion up at the Elkins Motor Speedway, driving the J. Rods Vending C.J. Rayburn automobile. He's out of Beverly, West Virginia. Chuck Harper going down the back chute. Harper really hauling the car into 3 and 4, looking for a good time. 21-262. 21-262 for Chuck Harper. A little bit quicker, 21-286. 21-286 for Chuck Harper. Out of Grovetown, Georgia, car number 01. This is Jack Pennington. Jack Pennington out of Grovetown, Georgia. Jack 21.347. 21.347. The Clements Racing Engine Awards One Stop sponsored automobile. Jack Pennington finishing up in 1987 10th in his only appearance in this race. 21.025. 21.025 for Jack Pennington. In the 33P out of Chicago, Illinois, this is John Pavazano. Little John Pavazano in car number 33. Pavazano usually carrying that car number 7, the 7 on the side of that car in his other trips to Pennsboro. Brand new team in car number 33. Pavazano's first lap time, 21.534. 21.534 for John Pavazano. .126. 21.126. In the 3M out of Hillsdale, New York, this is Michael Myers. $22,593. $22,593 for Mike Myers. Second lap, 21.921. 21.921. Car number 10 now on the speedway. Out of Albany, Ohio, this is Larry Bond out of Coolville, Ohio. Larry Bond on his first lap. Larry's first time, 21.945. 21.945. Larry, a regular here in the tri-state area. Second lap time with the Facemeyer Lumber Company sponsored car, 21.613. 21.613. No introduction into this gentleman. He has made all 14 of them, the 00. Ladies and gentlemen, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the golf valve service car of Freddie Smith. Freddie Smith In car number 00. 21.124, 21124. Smith up a little bit high. That will cost him definitely that first time of 21.124. Looks like will be Smith's quicker one in the afternoon. '95 Rookie of the Year on the Star Circuit. Car number 42, Scott Brode. Scott Brode also finishing up 9th in points on the tour. Brode in the Western Stairs Steakhouse, 42 car. He is out of Kaiser, West Virginia. Brode's time, 22.131, 22.131. Brode's second time, 21.934, 21.934. David Dixon out of Kentucky in cart number 99 now, Dave Dixon. Dixon's time, 22.079, 22.079. A little bit quicker, 21.827, 21.827, second time around for Dixon. Out of the 99S, the Hoodoo-sponsored 99S. Out of Mineral Wells, West Virginia, Mike Smith. Mike Smith in car number 99S. Smith on his first lap of qualifying. First lap time, 21.298. 21.298 for Mike Smith. Smith has made this race on 4 different occasions. His best finish was 1992, where he finished up 18th. Good time for Mike Smith, 20.823. Pretty good time late here in the afternoon, 20.823. That'll put Mike Smith, I believe, into the top 20. We'll put him 17th exactly. Tupelo, Mississippi's Steve Russell now in car number G1. Steve Russell out of Tupelo, Mississippi. 21.644. 21.644. Second time, 21.547, 21.547 for the Gibson Racing entry out of Tupelo, Mississippi, Steve Russell. Driving to Kenton Motorsports, Steve McCauley out of Kenton, Ohio. Steve McCauley Motorsports car. This is the driver out of St. John's, Michigan. Car 67, Chris Patterson. Patterson, known as the Michiganer. First lap time, 21.549. 21.549. Patterson runs real strong up around the Fremont over at Eldor Speedway. Real strong in that series out in that area. Doing quite well this year. Second lap time, 21.591. 21.591. 591. Car number 49 now, John Haggerty. Haggerty out of Olin, New York in car number 49H. Well, Steve Baker still sitting in that 10th spot with Mike Johnson, Tim Hint, Rick Auckland, Denny Chamberlain, Bart Hartman, Jack Boggs, and Steve Shaver all underneath of him. 23,918. 23,918. The top 14 right now will give you, that's the front row of the heat race. Second lap time, 22,862. 22,862. But I think things are going to change here a little bit before it's over, and that's one of the guys can make a change here. Car number 15 out of Ashland, Kentucky. This is Steve Francis. Steve Francis now. Francis aboard the Barry Wright chassis automobile. Francis making this race on 4 occasions. His best finish was in 1992, an 8th place finish. Francis first time, 21,228. 21,228. Francis in the top 10 in points this season for Stars. Matter of fact, Francis sitting 6th in points this year. Second time, 21,247. 21,247. Groves on his opening lap. Groves winning features up at the Elkins Motor Speedway, also at Challenger Speedway, and also at Interstate 79 Speedway in 1995. Groves 21.194, 21,194. Groves getting it out. He's getting it out of shape, coming out of 4, and just limps the car through. Second time, 24,236. Booper Bear now, Rockbridge, Bath, Virginia for car number 00 now. Booper Bear in car number 00. Booper's time, 21,821. 21.821. Booper definitely needs a little bit more straightaway speed here to get down in the 22nd bracket. That's where you need to be right now. Be in pretty good shape for your qualifying heat race. Not going to make it on that time. 21,562. 21,562. He's not going to come up with enough speed. Bobby Burgess in the S&D Machine Equipment Company automobile out of Allison Park, Pennsylvania. Bobby making the Hillbilly 100 about 6 weeks ago here at the Speedway in car number 44. He is out of Plum, Pennsylvania. And first time, 21,980. 21.980. Second time, 21,531. 21,531. Last few cars rolling out now. Car number 24 in the Ray Vest excavating car. The car just based south of Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. The driver, he is out of York, Pennsylvania. This is Rick Eckert. Rick Eckert out of York, Pennsylvania, currently third in Stars points this year. Eckert's time, 21.272, 21.272. Rick Eckert showed up here in 1991 for his first dirt track championship, and he has made every one since. His best finish was in 1993 when he finished up in the 8th spot. Eckert's time, 21.215, 21.215. The winner of the event back in April for our Big Fall Classic, crossing the timer now in car number E1. They call this gentleman the Flood Wall Flyer. Parkersburg, West Virginia's Mike Balzano. Mike Balzano in car number E1. First time for Balzano, and it's pretty good, 20.774, 20.774. Got a little bit high, and we'll have to stand on that one. Balzano having problems on his second attempt. Bump Hedman now in the 22H car. Bump Hedman in car number 22. Warren, Pennsylvania, Bump is from. And the cargo auto. Here he comes, and Bump will cross it through with the time 27.435. Next to the last car to qualify, Independence, Kentucky. Troy Green. Troy Green. Independence, Kentucky are one of the last few cars to qualify. Troy Green. Green 21.882, 21.882. Wow, a real different sounding car. 21.599, 21.599 for Troy Green. Well, Kenny Compton, the next to the last car to come out. Kenny Compton will be the last car to qualify here this afternoon. Kenny Compton, Beckley, West Virginia. First-year driver in car number 10. Kenny Compton, first time will be 22.065. 22.065. Here comes the young Kenny Compton, his grandfather, Lucky Compton, having a lot of Busch cars back, Busch Grand National cars, 21.835, 21.835. This young gentleman been around racing all his life. They've had a lot of good race cars in his family. A lot of great drivers in the Winston Cup and Grand National have piloted his grandfather Lucky Compton's cars throughout the years. It looks like John Flinner will not get a time. They just reported up to the tower. He will start on the scratch on the tail of the 6th heat. Riddell, over 100 cars have just qualified, and we are now officially qualifying is over. And when it's all said and done, up front.
Yeah, we were right early on. We said it would be best to go out early, and that certainly was the fact. Scott Bloomquist was one of the first 7 or 8 cars on the track, and Donnie Moran wasn't far behind him, and they will start on the front row this afternoon for the 15th running of the Dirt Track World Championship. Bloomquist will pick up that $1,000